grab a glass and get out here. We're drinking the Lagavulin 16. Now this is an Islay Scotch and was the first whiskey that I can remember, fairly sure. This was the first whiskey that I ever ordered at a restaurant. So, Lagavulin 16. This is a whiskey, probably not a first restaurant order for a lot of people. I had this for the first time on my honeymoon down in Zion Canyon. My wife and I went out to a restaurant, sat down. I decided to flip through the whiskey list because I had just been starting to appreciate whiskeys more. And we had watched together Parks and Recreation while we were engaged. And one of my favorite characters, probably my favorite, is Ron Swanson. And if you've seen the show, you know Ron Swanson loves his Lagavulin 16. So after watching the entire show, so many seasons, and seeing this one whiskey get brought up over and over again, I figured I've got to give this a shot. It's my favorite character's favorite whiskey. I want to try it. So I ordered it. They brought it out. I was having a great steak. Ron would be proud. And they brought it out to me. And I fell in love with it. So Lagavulin 16, it is an Islay Scotch single malt, so 100% malted barley. It is 16 years old, 43% alcohol by volume or 86 proof. It has a sherry finish. Price-wise, the cheapest that I've seen it is around $70. Seen it as high as 110, 115. Fair price would be around $80 to $85. I wait because every year there's a store near me that has it for about 70 bucks around Christmas. So if I'm going to buy one, that's when I do it. I wait until then. But otherwise, sometimes at Costco it'll be around 80 bucks, and that's a very fair price for what you're getting. Oh, let's get into it. Yeah. So, Islay Scotch, peated. And you get that on the nose. So they use the peating process when they malt the barley and burn peat under it to stop the malting process before they go and distill it. So that's where the peat enters in. It's not like a flavor that gets added later or anything goofy like that. It gets imbued into the grain and brings in this mesquite, smoky flavor, aroma on the nose, and really enjoy it. I remember thinking Campfire the first time I had it. Yeah. Yeah, on the nose, there's some smokiness from the peat. It's not a iodine type smoke. There's a hint of that. Um, Sometimes with peated whiskeys, people will say Band-Aid. That's very, very slight here. You really have to search for it. It's really nice. Maybe a little bit of citrus. There's this hint of tropical type flavors, but you have to dig past a couple layers of beautiful smoke before you find that. And that transfers to the palate. There's a little more type of iodine from the peat on the palate than on the nose. Still mostly smoky, kind of a little bit of matchstick almost, but in a really good way. Uh, not very sweet, I will say. Not as sweet as your typical bourbons or something along those lines, or even some of your Highland scotches. This isn't going to have most of those sweet notes. It's more savory, almost a little meaty, like a smoked meat, smoked brisket, which would be fantastic to pair this with. Yeah, really nice. Strong flavors. It they're the proof is low, but their impact is high. You notice those flavors; they stand out. Um, you're not going to miss the smoke on this. The finish is pretty short. It's there, and it's mostly just a memory of the smoke with some pepperiness in there, peppery smoke um, on the finish. And for the proof, I'm not surprised that it's a shorter finish, but it is really nice. So why should you buy the Lagavulin 16? First off, the peat is there, but it's a very refined peat. It's not too aggressive. It's there, but it's not aggressive. It's not abrasive. It's not Band-Aid, like you might get on some other peated whiskeys, like maybe Johnny Walker Black, if that's your reference point. Um, so it's very refined in that way. It's 16 years, and if you can get it for $75, a 16-year whiskey for $75 is pretty good. Um, Even in the Scotch world, where you can generally get higher aged products for lower prices, relative to bourbon at least. Um, this is really solid. The presentation is good, beautiful box, like a lot of Scotches do, but looks great. The Lagavulin name carries some weight to it. Um, it's approachable enough. It's still going to hit you with the Islay aspect of it, with the smoke, but it's not overwhelming. Even some of my brothers who have tried this, who haven't had a lot of Islay scotches before, they're able to appreciate it as opposed to just getting knocked off their feet by the peat flavors. It also is a classic malt of Scotland. It has that designation, which is kind of cool. So there's that history to the bottle. Why you should skip it. If you are completely anti-Scotch, might not be the bottle for you. If you are completely anti-peat, there, like I keep saying, there is smokiness on this. There is peatiness to this whiskey, and if you just can't handle those flavors, if you don't like those flavors, this might not be the bottle for you. It is unfortunately chill filtered, and it has some added color, which is allowed in Scotch, unfortunately, but just it's lacking the craft presentation you might find on other whiskeys, other Scotches. Uh, so that's a bummer. I wish they would release a non-chill filtered version of this. I think that could really help with the finish, especially. But that's an argument I have with Diageo, and they don't need my money. It also is. There are also cheaper options with similar or better experiences depending on your palate. And if you really just want a bourbon or a rye or something else, it's not going to be the bottle for you. Some other bottles to consider, though, if you already have a Lagavulin 16 and want something else, or if you don't want to pay $70, you could look at the Lagavulin 8-year. I was really impressed when I tried this. It's slightly higher proof. I believe it's 46% as opposed to 43. And the flavors are just a little more rambunctious. So it's obviously half the age and a little bit higher proof. So those flavors are going to be a little bit bigger. The peat hasn't been tempered by the oak yet. So there's a little more going on. I get even more citrus on that. And it's $55. So it's a little cheaper. It's not as easy to find in my experience, but a really good option for you, especially if you like this flavor profile and want something similar but a little different. maybe a little amped up. You could also look at the Talisker Storm. Again, slightly higher proof. It's non-age stated, unfortunately, and it also has less proof, less peat. Forgive me. So it's a little bit proofier, but less peaty. There's a hint of it that truly is like hint of smoke, as opposed to this where smoke is the predominant flavor note. So that might be one where if you are into Scotch in general, but want to try a little bit of peat, Talisker Storm might be the bottle for you. And that's around $45. One possible upgrade would be the Ardbeg Ugadel, or the Oogie, as some people in the Scotch world will call it. That is a barrel proof version of the Ardbeg, non age stated, but also an Islay Scotch. Really big flavors. It leans a little more smoke than this, even less iodine, I would say. Um, so really, if you want everything cranked up to 11, try the Ardbeg Ugadel. And finally, if you already love some peated whiskeys and have had Ardbegs and Lagavulin, and you want to jump into the deep end, look for the Lafroig 10. Now that has a very divisive peat note to it. That one really does lean into the kind of like band-aid or burn tire notes that some people will mention when they try peated whiskey. And it's fun, but it is less approachable. But if you've been in the world of peat and want something to challenge you, try the Lafroig 10. And with that, thank you so much for listening. Cheers, and go touch some grass.